Hello, my friends of Hatariwater. This time we are going to do a whole numerical model. This is a numerical model for the interference of pumping wells. Here we have a cropping field where we have three wells. We have well 1, well 2, and well 3. And these three wells, one will be pumping 5 liters per second, then the other ones will be pumping another 5 liters per second, and this one will be pumping 10 liters per second. And this will be the extension of our model, and then here we have our raster them, and then we are going, this is a whole model, and it might be very long, because what we are going to do is to simulate, to build a model and then simulate the pumping interference on a transient model. I hope that you will like it, and then we start. Okay, first of all, we need this them in a format that will be compatible with MODFLOW and MODFLOW. So let's say, let's go to Raster. I'm using QGIS, that is a very powerful open source GIS software, and then we are going to say conversion, translate conversion. I'm sorry, my mother language is English, so I use QGIS in Spanish. No, my mother language is Spanish, so I use QGIS in Spanish. So we are going to put all this data will be on the files that I gave you on the links of the video, and then we are going to do is to use let's try with this one, with the surfer golden software. Okay, golden software binary grid. Okay, let's try this one. Yep, we are just translating, and then let's say if it works. Yes, it worked. Okay, so we have the same raster, but on another format. Okay, so and then I quitted some from this, because otherwise I cannot import it on the model, and then start a new MODFLOW model. If you follow our blog, we have a whole tutorial on how to import, how to install MODFLOW with MODFLOW. So let's say that here I won't cover this part, and then say we want a new flow model, then we put again, and then we are going to use the no grid option and with just one layer, because we will just model the, let's put two layers. We will model the alluvial aquifer as well as the weather rock, just to see if somebody, no, just put one layer. Yeah, we will put acuífero alluvial. Okay, then we set up the no grid option. Why do we set up the no grid option? Because actually we are going to construct the numerical model from the shapefiles I gave. So it's better to close QGIS. So just close your project and save it. Well, in my case I have already saved it, so I will close this project. Otherwise there will become conflicts in between MODFLOW and QGIS. Now import. We are going to file, we are going to import, and then we are going to, from import, we import shapefile. No, we import shapefile. Yeah, we import the shapefiles, because on the data I gave you in this tutorial, I mean that you will have as well the shape file of the model extension. So just import it. So you will receive this, the QGIS, that is the project of the data I gave you, the raster, and the shapes. So the shapes we are going to say area of modelo de interferencia, and then we set safe value of enclosed cells. Just do nothing more than this, and then put OK. Nothing will happen. Okay, then we'll go to this, and you have the advantage of put pause. So I will do it rather quickly, because like since you are following a video, you can do pause and see exactly where I do the commands. And then I use the all objects, and then I have the area of modelo interferencia 2, and then say use to set grid cell size, yes, and then just say that I wanted like 25. And they say close. Nothing will happen, because what we'll need is to construct the grid. So with this one we generate a grid. We don't want to calculate the grid. It's the same, because it's already a square. So, and then here we have our grid and with our coordinates. Okay, nothing has happened yet. What we will need to happen? Okay, now we have grid on our model extension. We need to set up many things in order to have a proper numerical model. Okay, first of all, we need to define the boundary conditions and so on. It's like a procedure. Okay, so let's go to model, let's go to package and programs. Let's wait. And then we go to boundary conditions, specify head. We are going to define a boundary condition that is the boundary condition that is the regional flow as CHD, as constant head. Then we need the recharge, so that is the return of irrigation. That is as well the wells plus evapotranspiration. So this is the four process that we are going to perform in our model. So we will need CHD, like we will need recharge, we will need the well package, and then we will need the evapotranspiration. In recharge, just change this recharge top location to top active cell, just in case. Okay, let's say okay. Okay, then we have been here, then we go to layer groups. Our layer is not confined, but it will be convertible, that will be whether confined, whether I confined, and then we will let MODFLOW to decide if it's confined or not confined. Okay, so and then we go to harmonic mean, guys. Okay, discretization, we are going to split our alluvial aquifer into 3 parts. Okay, cool. And then we go to time, MODFLOW time. MODFLOW time. And in time we are going to define a steady state, that is actually the regional groundwater flow. And then we are going to add another one that will be 15 years. So we will need years to seconds, and then we say 15 years, because we want to see how is the interference of those wells in 15 years. Copy to clipboard, close, and then I just put 15 years. But these 15 years I don't want it to evaluate every year or every second, or like in the 15 years. So what we will do is just to say that we will want to see how the wells are interfering every year. Okay, let's say okay. let's say okay. Okay, so on model, just a recap, we have the steady state and plus a transient one of 15 years, evaluated every 15 years. Okay, cool. Then what we will need is to import our elevation. First, we will need to do a couple of things. First, we go to data, edit datasets. We will require hydrology, our K, and this time there is a regional flow on this area, but as well there is a return of irrigation, so there is a recharge there. So I will put a, how to say, attempting, or like a first attempt of hydraulic conductivity, and then we will see if with the return of recharge that I will expect, we have reasonable, like a reasonable groundwater flow. Okay, so let's say 1 e to the minus 5, yes? Hydraulic, like an isotropy of this is okay. I put apply, let's say, hydrology. So everything is active, 110 to the minus 5, this is 110. The initial head will be datasets required, definition, model top, cool, initial storage, it will be, we are talking about lime, so let's say 1.2, and specific storage is 1.2, 10 to the minus 5, yeah, why not? Cool. Then we'll put apply. We have to set apply every time because otherwise your changes won't be. Okay, so then the model top, and then we will see that the alluvial bottom, and then like we have that our the bottom elevation of our model is not exactly an elevation, but it's rather a thickness. So it depends from the model top. So we put edit formula, and then we put model top minus 80, because we will have 80 meters of alluvial occurrence. And then we put OK, apply, and then we put close. Cool, that's excellent. And now we can import our surface, our data. Okay. Look around. There are some, I will fix this, but our model is rather very thick. Okay, but I will do that later. Okay, file, export, file, import, surfer grid file, and on the file that you generated on QAS, I don't have, no, it's on raster. On raster, I have this raster them, okay? This is the file that you have generated. Okay, we say open. It's okay, and then on dataset we go to model top, and then we say set value of intersected cells, set value by interpolation, and in this time our raster is not so dense, so we are saying we are going to apply to none. So that I hope that we will do some more regional stuff, and then I can explain you what is when you do not have to use this, when you have to use these methods. Okay, so we say okay, nothing happens. Why? Because you have inserted, you have set that it will be the model top or surface, and then you set by interpolation, but you have not defined the interpolation methods. The interpolation methods go here to data, the data sets, required hydrology, no, layer definition, model top, and on model top the interpolation method I suggest to use fitted surface. Okay, so we put apply, and what has happened, close, is that actually you have applied interpolation method, and then the raster can be interpolated. Yep. it's not so easy to explain, but it's okay. Okay, so here we have our our model, but our model is like very thick, so we hope, for my case, so we go to view and vertical exaggeration, and then just put 3 instead of 20. Then with this one I do a zoom. Yeah, why not? Okay, so here we have the elevation, and if you see, the bottom of the aquifer is as well the same as the top. Yep. Then what we need to do is to define the boundary conditions. So here we go to this, we select a rectangle, and we will apply a boundary condition that is, here we have a boundary condition that will be the recharge and evapotranspiration. And it will be from model top to aquifer. No, it will be 0 formulas, and it will be color. Just put a color, is always important. Otherwise, the default colors are not so pretty, so we need to put it more pretty. And then we put OK. This is our object, so we go with the red arrow, we go to our object, and then on model features we apply that is a recharge, and the recharge, it will be to -1. The recharge will be the whole model extension, and the recharge rate will be how much? Let's say that it will be 200 liters per second, so 200 millimeters per year. 200 millimeters per year. Sorry, so it will be 0.2 meters per year divided by, and this will be the recharge. 6 divided by the number of seconds per day and the number of days per year. Okay. And they say like the evapotranspiration is as well from the beginning to the end. The evapotranspiration rate is 1.8 millimeters per year. So if we divide it by the numbers, by this number, we have in meters per second. 1.8 meters per year, and this is the transformation meters per second. Okay. Surface, where it evapotranspirate, and model top at surface, of course, and which is the thickness of the depth. Let's say that we are dealing with 0.5. Okay. Cool. Now we have the recharge and the evapotranspiration. What else do we need? We need to define a constant head. So this one we are going to hide, because otherwise it will be very difficult to assign to this one. Will be very difficult to assign another boundary condition. So we put high, and then what else? We say go from here, we go from here, we go from here, we go from here, and then we go till the, let's try that the lines do not have to cross the same lines itself, so we needed to put it in the next cell. Okay. And then we put right click, no, and double click, yep. And these will be our constant head boundary conditions. and it will be from model top to up. Yeah, why not? And this will be our CHD, where it will be as well in the whole model, and the starting head will be, I mean, let's say that in this area, the let's say that in this area the water table is 8 meters below surface, so we say model top minus 8. Let's say that. And on the ending head is the same, model top minus 8. Okay. Muy bien. Cool. Now we have the boundary conditions. Change the color, please, because everything is in black and it's very confusing. Okay, let's change it to this color, and let's change it to this color. Why not? And here, on my case, I will go here, and I have some confusion. Here I don't like this vertex, so I go to this one. I select this one, and then put delete, and then I have no more vertex. Right. And then this one go. Okay. Now I have my regional boundary condition. Now I need to import wells. So in order to import wells, so file, import, shapefile, shapes, and then I import pozos de bombeo, that is wells. You are learning some Spanish in this tutorial as well. Set value of the intersected cells, and let's say that this one is 1. And how deep are our wells? Let's say that every well is at 40 meters below surface. So let's say that it's model top minus 40. Okay, you might have a lot of questions. Yep, and I will consider this if like you are not regional, or like you are learning ModMuse, or like maybe you are dealing with another software and then I present you ModMuse in this way. But for me, what is important is that you follow these steps, and then you get the idea of how are the procedures in this, and from the beginning to the end. And then, like, if you want to apply for your own project, like, you do this first, and then you figure out how it will be for your own project. So, okay, so my model top minus 20, set value of intersected cells. Let's go to features. Let's say that this is a well. Well, it will go from the just put it as nothing, because it's better if to import it from the other, and it will be a separate object, so every object will be different. Let's put okay. And here, what are these? Let's go to these ones, to this tree, and then we go to unused objects, because our wells are not here. There is a pozo de bombeo. We will put double click and they say pozo de bombeo 1 is minus 40. Something is happening here. Cool, I knew it. Okay, I have to delete these ones. And this happens as well, why not? How do you delete these ones? Just put delete. What has happened is that my pumping wells are on on lat long. So what does it mean? Delete. I am applying delete to delete the objects. That my wells are on geographical coordinates, so I needed to change it to UTM. So I open my project, because in my project are all the data, and then Pozo Bombeo I just have to change the, so I put guardar como, save as, and instead of guardar como I say Pozo de Bombeo, but I say Pozo de Bombeo, but I say this Pozo de Bombeo, check, WGS 8418S. Okay, and then here I change it to, if I have my list, I mean maybe you are not on my same, I just type 32C10. This is the code of this song in the QGIS, so I put it and then put, okay, now I have the pumping wells but on the projection I want, so I just eliminate here. And why eliminate? Because I just eliminated from the canvas, because here I can import this. So I go to File, Import, Shapefile. Now the pumping wells are on the projection I want, and then I go to set value of intersected cells, one formula, and the formula is model top minus 40. Okay, and then if I go to apply, here they appear. So let's say that I go to this one and they say okay, then first we change of colors, yeah, and then we go to model features, we say that this is a well, but in this time first we are going to do a simulation in order to see if the boundary conditions are okay. And so what is that, let's put that the well is not pumping. That is what I wanted to do. So pair is direct here, and let's say like this one is pumping. It's pumping minus because it's pumping is minus, and that is positive. It will be injected 0.05. That will be that it will be pumping. No, it will be pumping 5 liters per second. Why? Because 5 liters per second is actually it's here and under this scope there is the wet season and there is the dry season. So in fact they are pumping almost 20 liters per second, but just on the half of the year. So it will be 10 liters per second on the whole year, but in fact they are pumping just on the daytime because they are not pumping on nighttime. So in fact it's only 5 liters per second. Okay, so this is for well 1. No, but in this time what we have said that it's not pumping anything, so it's 0. So but then you will see that if you don't have if you select a boundary condition, the boundary condition is not active, what will happen? It will happen that it will create an error. So if you select the boundary condition, you have to put an object related to the boundary condition. And in this time we have selected wells, but for us the wells are not pumping. Okay, So here I go again, change the colors. Direct. And this is as well. To change of colors. Direct. Okay, now we have our model ready to run. If we have our model ready to run, what we will need is just to save our project, and then I create another model. They say interference 1. I'm sorry if interference, well, if it's not wild type. Okay, so we have here, and I will do you another favor. What is the favor I will do it? I will create a backup of the project till this. So I close my proyecto, I close it, and then I will go to, this is the initial, so interferencia 1 inicial, and then I create another one that is will be this will be interferencia modelo construir. Okay, cool. Now we are ready to run it, so let's run it. And okay, let's see if we have done everything right. Cool, we have let's say that we have done this right. Okay, but let's look at our water budget. In our water budget, we go in this white screen. This is the list file, and then we go to the bottom of the list file, and then here we have, this is for the last year. We have a storage. We see that the constant head is giving a lot to the system. Storage is giving few. Well, in fact, storage is giving few because there are no requirements to the system. Recharge is very small in order to. It's okay, and everything is going out mostly. I mean, as regional flow, and a little bit is going as. A little bit is going out as evapotranspiration, so there are some parts where the water table is close to the system, but I think it's okay. I mean, let's look at the let's look at the water and let's look at the water table. Okay, we go to import data. This is one. Import data, and then we select the HFD, and then I just want to see the last ones as a color bit. Why not? Okay, here we have. Cool. Sorry. What do we have here? We have here the distribution of the water table, and let's say, do you remember that the boundary condition was said that I assume that the water table is 5 meters below below surface? Let's see if that with this K and with this recharge, this assumption, or no, 8 meters is still true. So I will plot the cross sections, data sets, optional results, water table, H2, and then yes, select a color. Okay. Cool. No, because we have to go maybe this part. Okay, because I was on the cross section, and on the cross section my constant head is valid. So I go maybe to the top, to the bottom, no, to the center of the model, and then I see that what I have said is half valid, because in some parts is 17 meters, but in other parts are like 8 meters, and in other parts are like 4 meters, and then there are places where it's very close. So just give me a sec. I wanted to check once again in order to activate I want to check something else in order to activate the wells. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, now we are going to activate wells. The wells will be activated just on the transient, just on the wells will be activated just on the, not on the steady state, but rather than on the transient model. So let's say that this one first, let's go to data and then say delete model results, and then select this one, also the bombeo, and this one will be on direct and will be pumping not from zero, from -1 to 0 it will be pumping 0, and then I select one more, and then from 0 to the end it will be pumping 0.005. Okay? And this one will be pumping from 0, will be pumping 0, and then I add another one and will be pumping, well, very intelligent, it recognizes that it will be pumping as well 0.05. So And then here I go from model flow features, and then I add one more, and this will be 0, and this one will be pumping more, just to say that there are other. Okay, cool. Cool. Let's save that, and let's save it as interference 2. And I will run them one. Okay, and when this one is gray, so it means that it's already stopped also, and everything will great, awesome. And then let's go to the list file, that is this big file, and let's go to the bottom, and then I see that cool. From storage is giving fuel to the system. Constant head is giving 97 liters per second, so this in fact is cubic meters per second, so I translated to liters per second. Recharge is giving 3 liters per second. Storage is giving fuel. Constant head is taking out 83 liters per second. Wells are giving are taking out 20 liters per second, and the evapotranspiration, if you I need another tutorial to select, to give you what is this, but let's look at the output control for stress period 1 times the 1, this one. The evapotranspiration was 4 liters per second, and the constant head was 92 liters per second when there was no wells, and at the end the constant head was 92, and this one has reduced. What has happened? That the water, what does it mean? That water that came from the pumping wells is actually water that is not going out as regional flow, and the evapotranspiration, let's say that the evapotranspiration, like the swamps are the ones that will be affected as well. But this is a agricultural valley, so when you decrease the swamp, you are maybe enhancing the soil for crops. So this is our history. Yep. So here we have, okay, and let's say how this file was entirely to see how wells are interfering one from each other. So I close this, and then I add, but I import the results, but there are 2 results. The first result is a FHD, that is the heads, and those are the drawdowns. On the drawdowns, I will see how are the drawdowns for stage for the first year, for the 5th year, for the 10th year, and for the 15th year. So I say these ones. So here I have, this is the 1st year, this is the 5th year, this is the 10th year, and this is the, this is the 10th. Yep. And then let's put it as color grid is okay. So let's say okay. On the first year, nothing has happened. Let's say why. Because if we go to data visualization, let's go to data visualization on color grid. I mean, you don't see nothing because actually you are seeing the model errors. Because on color grid, it goes from millimeters to millimeters. So nothing has happened on the first year. So the well have not done any wrong. So let's go to the wow, this is not the first year, this is actually the last year. I'm sorry, this is why this is some of the topics that you will see. Okay, cool. What this is saying? This is yeah, okay, what this is saying is that the I will delete more results. I will import the heads because I want to see the heads of the last year as contours. Yeah, they are. If you see, this is the cone of depression of every well, but I want to see how's the impact, but somehow something is going on in this. Let's go to time. This is steady state. This is the drawdown reference. And if because actually it goes from 18 to -5, and this is okay, but why I don't have nothing on my drawdown? I will import just the last one. Color grid. Okay, cool. Sorry, maybe it was a mistake from it. Here you can see the water, the heads, and here you can see how are the cone of depressions, because this one, the color grid, is actually a representation from the top, from surface to from the initial water table to the initial head to the actual head, and then here we see how these wells do interfere. So, and now I will show you how is the development of the interference. So let's say I will go to data, I will import again, delete more results, okay, and then I will show FHD, FDN, and then I will show you just at 5 years, 10 years, and 15 years, but as a counter grid. Okay, cool. Okay, cool here, and then I take out the error. This is a really good graphic. On counter data, I go to first, apply. On 5 years, wow. What if you see? Are you seeing the same as I? They say that on the 5 years are on the 10 year and as well as the 15 years, the drum doors are the same. And what does it mean? That the model have reached a steady state. So if you want to the already in the at the 5th year, there are no more there is minimum difference on the drawdowns. Yeah, there are difference by sure, but the difference is minimum. So, and already on the 5th year, it has already reached the steady state. Well, I will look so if it's already reached the steady state at the 5th year, it doesn't matter what happened at 10 because it will be the same. So what I will do is I will import the 1st year, the 2nd, and the 3rd. Let's say if that I can see the development of these 3 years. So I go to data, delete more results. And then I go to FDN, but from the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd year, and by default it takes the last one and I take it out, and as a counter here. What has happened? Well, let's say put on something. Maybe I did it wrong. Okay, now I will show you the 1st year, and then I put apply. Cool. At the 1st year, the pumping are already interference. Do you see this? What I am seeing is that there is an interference already on the 1st year, and on the 2nd year, and on the 3rd year, there is already an interference in between these 3 wells, and those wells are located 400 meters one far from each other. And there is an, there are 3 meters, that is the accumulated interference of the drawdown in between one to the other. This is very interesting because it says 2 things. The first thing is that the more like the hydraulic parameters here make that the water connection decreases. The other ones is that this happens at 40 meters below surface, but on the top there is the maximum depletion is, let's say at the 1st year we will have 3 meters of depletion, from 2 to 5 meters, like the depression on the water table, but the maximum depression will be at 40 meters, where we have 8 meters, from 5 to 9 meters the depression of the water tables, this is due to the interference. What does it mean? That there is interference, no? From the first year, and and this interference, this is not so easy, but let's say that let's go to data, delete more results, and then I will just import the first one and the last one, and let's see how different is the situation from the year 1 to year 15. Oh, sorry, this is water table, not delete more results. Import data if dn, and I want to see control. This is, please look at this is at the end of the 15 years, this is at the beginning. So they say, okay, if there are already interference from the first year, in this case under this value, okay, cool. But what they say that over the period it reaches the steady state, so the interference won't get further. But this is, I'm talking just about this I'm talking just about these wells. And another topic that is very important is that there is kind of even though they are pumping, there is sustainability of the aquifer management, because the regional flow is really high compared to what they are pumping. So, and there is as well recharge, and then you, in this case, under the situation of the water balance, there is no such a water mining or something like that. Okay, cool. So, and then because I'm your friend, I will copy this I will save it, and then I will back up all the results from this. Webinar. No, it's better. And this will be interferencia. Okay, and this will be the last one. Okay, my friends, it has been a really good experience for me. I'm really happy to cover these topics that are not so easy, but are really related to define the aquifer sustainability. I will drop my email. Okay, I will drop, this is my email, and I will invite you to follow our Facebook profile. What is our Facebook profile? And it's an invitation to this, because we will be posting many things on Facebook, and there is something new here that let me Give me a minute. Yeah, cool. So because why I do invite you to follow us on Facebook, because we are posting many things and we would like to do webinars as well. So we will like to join to have a good community here and do some webinars and to do some exercises as the ones that we are doing in Spanish. We have a higher community in Spanish, and so we hope that you can follow this Facebook profile, because the webinars and the invitation will be posted here. We have on Tumblr, we have as well our blog, that is the blog where we have the archive of all our posts, and we have more tutorials as well, so you can follow this. Maybe you, and then like if you are seeing this on YouTube, you can subscribe as well to this channel. Okay, so this is my email, so if you have an idea for a tutorial or webinar or something like that, we can arrange something if we can. And it was a pleasure. This topic is not so easy to get, and I hope, and don't feel frustrated if you don't get all of things. What is most important is that you got till the end, and then you can sort it out how these things work. Okay, so just contact me if you have any idea of any trouble. Let's see what we can do for you, and thank you for your patience, and thank you for following us. And if you are not subscribed to this YouTube video, please subscribe now. Okay, see you. My name was Saul Montoya. Have a nice day.